Kwang versus Feng Mao in the offlane. Everyone knows how volatile the offlane can be. With two melee heroes, you need to constantly step up to the wave in order to make trades, smart decisions, and avoid as many mistakes as you can. But who wins this matchup? How do I play around cooldowns and waves? What do I do in order to have more favorable trades? In this video, I'll go in depth on the matchup, trade patterns, pre-level 6, strengths, weaknesses, build paths, and trade patterns post-level 6. Let's go.
Tried my best just to catch a fucking smile, but for now I see myself ain't hitting the 35. Been awake 4 days, so we out living life in the night. Pray to God, man, I hope I don't die. Been awake 4 days, so we out living life in the night. Pray to God, man, I hope I don't die in the night. Lord knows, and I think I know it too sometimes.
Before we begin right when the wave crashes in the middle, let's quickly cover itemization and ability priority. Kwang will equip the Occult Crest, purchase a Codex, and unlock Light of the Heavens at level 1. Feng Mao will equip Rogue Crest, purchase a Short Sword, and unlock Hamstring at level 1. Both heroes have strong passives that work well in lane, but Feng's attack pattern in particular mostly revolves around his passive Precision Strike. If he hasn't attacked anything or taken damage, his next basic attack does 6% bonus damage, pretty much for free. He just walks up, hits you, and wipes out a good chunk of your health just like that. Then he follows that up with a hamstring and resets while pulling the wave closer to him. And just like that, that's already 200 damage. So if Feng is circling around for a few seconds, he's waiting on his passive. He then will walk past your minions right to you to hit you. And here's what you need to do if you're Kwang. No matter what, use Light of the Heavens before he gets a chance to hit you. And here's why. If Light of the Heavens lands, you instantly put his passive back on cooldown and give you a shield at the same time. Light of the Heavens has a significantly longer reach than Feng Mao's basic attack. Take a look at this range side by side. And because Feng Mao walked past your minions to hit you, he's now surrounded by your minions and taking aggro, taking more damage, and this will force him to back off. If the Kwang is quick enough, he can land an auto attack on a minion close to Feng Mao, so he takes additional splash damage while not drawing minion aggro. And just like that, easy trade win for Kwang. But what if the Kwang has minion advantage? Easy. Land your passive, Strike of the Heavens, on Feng Mao. This will reduce your Light of the Heavens cooldown by 1 second, and your remaining shield will mitigate some of the damage coming from the minions. At level 1, Light of the Heavens will grant a shield of about 83, which is just enough to endure an auto hamstring combo from a Feng Mao who lost their Precision Strike. So that's the most important trading pattern in this matchup. Now Feng's passive has a 3-second cooldown, while Kwang's Light of the Heavens has a 13-second cooldown. All the while Feng's hamstring has a 10-second cooldown. So what can the Kwang do if his counter is on cooldown? Keep in mind that the Feng will also be last hitting minions, which will reset his passive timer. So that will give Kwang a few seconds to wait on his ability to come off cooldown. Additionally, as mentioned before, if you see Feng doing nothing for a few seconds then suddenly running at you, just walk backwards. This stalls even more time for Kwang's counter to come back. Feng Mao has a base move speed of 685, while Kwang only has 680. So if you're the Kwang, be on your toes for that second trade interaction. If you're the Kwang, play off cooldowns and you'll win every trade. So for this round, both heroes has a solid chance to come out on top, as this is a high skill, volatile matchup at level 1, but since Kwang's counter is more consistent, round 1 goes to Kwang. Now for round 2. The next trading pattern happens when Kwang and Feng are levels 3 to 5. Kwang should be leveling up his Light of the Heavens, while Feng Mao will max his hamstring. Feng Mao's got the cooldown advantage here. Light of the Heavens has an 11-second cooldown at level 3, while hamstring is on 8. So what's the interaction like when Kwang has his tether and dash versus Feng Mao's shield and dash? If Feng Mao dashes, he will quickly follow up with an auto, hamstring, auto, shield, auto for a massive amount of burst damage. But this means he has no dash, no move speed, has no shields afterwards, and will be taking minion aggro immediately. Kwang needs to immediately use Light of the Heavens in order to mitigate some of the incoming damage and hit him to reduce the cooldowns. Feng Mao's shield lasts 2.5 seconds. At this point, both heroes are drawing minion aggro. Now if you're the Kwang, you don't need to worry about the Precision Strike. If a Feng Mao decides to use Reaping Dash, he forfeits that 6% bonus damage in order to get in your face. Wait until the shield runs out, then counterattack by tethering him, dashing in for the knockup, then landing 2 autos. By waiting for his shield to go away, this will maximize the amount of damage you do. But what about when Kwang goes on the offensive instead? The way to approach this trade if you're the Kwang is walk up to him and use Light of the Heavens. Because this ability has a longer reach than Feng's basic attack, his precision strike is now off the table. The Feng Mao will counter by doing an auto, safeguard auto again for the quick animation cancel, followed up with hamstring then another auto. However, the Kwang still has 2 abilities remaining while Feng only has his dash to dash away. Feng Mao burning his shield leaves him wide open to a tether dash burst trade. At this point in the trade, to even out, Kwang will need to quickly land his tether, dash, auto combo as quickly as he can before Feng Mao dashes away. If Kwang misses the tether, Feng Mao wins this trade. And if you're the Feng Mao in this trade, you need to either dodge the tether or dash away. So for round 2, this one goes to Feng Mao as his trade patterns are more consistent than Kwang's due to Kwang having to land his tether in order to break even. Now for the final round. Both heroes have their ultimate ability unlocked. Just like before, Kwang can outtrade by timing his Light of the Heavens to counter Feng's passive and hamstring combo and follow up with Strike of the Heavens. At level 6, both heroes are slightly more durable to withstand minion aggro, so Kwang can now outtrade completely in this pattern. Now for the other abilities. At any point if Feng Mao uses either his shield or dash, he's in a very vulnerable position for Kwang's tether combos. But Kwang will still need to land a tether dash combo to break even. However, if he does, Kwang will easily be able to auto twice for Strike of the Heavens cooldown reductions, allowing him to be ready for the next trade, and he wins the trade. If Kwang uses up his tether, Feng Mao will be able to use Earth Shatter for an all-in, and Kwang will have no way to stop it. So if you're the Kwang, do not all in unless you know you can burst Feng Mao down during the knockup. So at level 6, the advantage goes to Feng Mao, but of course, this is only if this matchup is played correctly. Both heroes must watch their cooldowns, health, mana, and minion advantage. But due to the nature of Feng's passive and his need to initiate while Kwang has a great counter, Kwang will eventually have more kill pressure. The name of the game is back and forth trades and landing every ability perfectly. Kwang can check both Feng's passive and the hamstring or shield at the same time. Feng Mao burning his shield leaves him wide open to a tether dash burst trade, and both ultimates acts as finishers. However, there is one massive caveat for Kwang I haven't mentioned. Let's talk about builds. Feng Mao will buy Soul Chalice and start stacking it. However, instead of finishing it, grabbing Omen will help make his autos punch through Kwang's shields while also reducing his already shorter cooldowns. Kwang, on the other hand, if he decides to build Brimstone, this is a completely different story altogether. The damage aura will take away Feng's precision strike for free, not draw minion aggro, and Kwang will be able to use Light of the Heavens whenever he wants. And this ultimately secures the victory in this matchup. The winner is Kwang. But that's enough out of me. I want to know what you think. Leave a comment below. Leave a like if you haven't already. It helps me make more content like this. If you like my content, consider subscribing. It helps me out a ton, and I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next Predecessor video. MedKit out.